Hello everyone, we're here at Silverstone for the 9th round of the BeamNG AI series. We have black starting on pole, our championship contenders red and orange are a bit further back, as we're underway here in Silverstone for the 9th round of the series. It looks as though blue has gotten a good launch and red has already gotten past orange, and blue is right alongside black, and there's contact, and black has been hit and he's spinning across the grass, and he's going to come back on the track, and Cyan collects him, and pink is flipped over there. We've got a big crash in the first lap. This is most definitely going to be a red flag as the cars continue on, unbeknownst to the chaos behind them. And Cyan is able to keep on going, but there is a red flag there. So I think it's pink and black who are going to be out of this race. The cars are still racing, but any overtakes right now won't count towards the red flag restart, and they'll just go off the positions they were when the red flag was called. Still an impressive overtake by Lime there, but unfortunately it won't count for anything as Cyan is now at the back of the pack. And there is black without his tyre that Cyan leaped over, and there is pink on his roof. Very unfortunate start for him. He was just caught in the mix of it. There's not much he could have done as we look at the replay and see what happens. Riding on board with Cyan, who's in 4th, and you can see that blue kind of just swerves across black, and that's what causes him to come across the road. And then you can see Cyan hits black and dislodges his tyre and goes flying over it. You can see it rolling away there. This is what pink saw. So pink was very boxed in and didn't have much visibility. And then you can hear contact ahead, and Cyan, you can see him for a second leaping up, but by then it's too late and pink can't do anything about it. As we look at the external view, blue just tapping the side of black and ending up taking a lead still as Cyan leaps over the tyre and pink rolls over, making contact with the back of black, who tries to get going again, but he won't get very far with 3 tyres. We've got 8 cars on the grid this time, and we're ready to go once again. Blue now takes pole position, and red has gained a couple of places from that in his championship fight against orange. As we get going again, Cyan at the back weaving. There's a couple of overtakes in the midfield as we come around through for the first corner, and red almost loses it, makes contact with green, but manages to keep it pointing in the right direction. Both orange and lime making up positions in that first part of the start there. Despite a couple of collisions, we all make it through cleanly, and we can continue on racing, heading through the village section now. This part of the track is a great place for overtaking. Oh, aggressive defending by yellow sends lime wide, he'll lose a position. Orange sends a dive bomb from way back and hangs it in on the inside. It's a very impressive overtake there from orange, and red will try to reply by sending it down the inside there, but he will not have the speed. If he can get a good exit here and a good slipstream, then he might be able to make a move at Brooklands and Luffield. It's paramount that these two finish ahead of each other for their championship hopes, as they're the top 2 in the championship, and red gets a little squirrely in Brooklyn, but he might have a chance through Luffield if he has a good exit there, but no, orange is able to hold the lead over red, but red will be very keen to get past. And Cyan there is able to repair his car after that red flag, but he'll have to be at the back of the pack for now. But I'm sure he'll be able to make some inroads towards the top of the field because he is a very skilled driver. As we head down towards Cops, one of the most famous corners, following orange. And orange has lost it. Orange is in the wall, and that's a massive crash, and red will collect him. That's the 2 championship contenders out in one corner, and the other cars will come by. Purple almost losing it there over the curb, trying to avoid the accident. Red is able to keep on going, and lime has spun in sympathy, trying to avoid the incident, but he'll get past. And orange, there's no way that car is continuing. Orange is out of the race, and there'll probably be another red flag, and there we go. 2 red flags in 2 laps. It's been a chaotic start here at Silverstone. Because we got through a sector of a lap there, we're gonna have to lose a lap now. We'll only have 5 laps of racing after this. It'll be on lap 2 of 6 as we watch on board with red in the replay, and there's no way he's getting out of the way of that. It was so sudden and he approached at such a high speed, but fortunately he was able to keep it rolling, and that means that he'll be able to restart the red flag, but he'll be at the back of the field. But it's better than orange, who is now out of the race, as we're here on the starting grid with 7 cars for the 3rd start in this race. We still have blue and green as the top 2 on the front row as we're underway, and it's a good start from blue, but green has had even better launch on the inside there, and it's pretty close through to corner 1, and green has got the lead off of blue. That's very impressive there, and purple's door is already hanging off with some side-by-side contact. Cyan getting past red there, who tried to get that position back but wasn't able to in the starting phase of the race, but at least he is ahead of lime. So our new race leader is green. Yellow sends a big dive bomb and hits purple. Purple is spun around and all the cars will come past, and red makes contact trying to get past. and so lime will pass red, and now purple has been sent to the back of the field. Unfortunate for him because he did nothing wrong there. Red is very close to the back of lime here, and he's shaping up for a move, but he's learnt his lesson this time. He'll just tuck on behind through that corner and get him at the end of a Wellington straight. This is very important for red to make these positions because this will increase the gap to orange in the championship standings. And the bigger that gap is, the more easier his life is, as he sends a dive bomb into lime there, but he isn't quite able to make it. And yellow appears out of nowhere, makes contact in a very unsafe rejoin back onto the track. But he was able to keep ahead of red there as we go through Luffield. In saying that, yellow has lost positions in that mistake that he made and what caused him to rejoin the track. We'll have a look at the replay to see exactly what happened to him. So he just goes a little bit too deep and tries to turn back in on the grass, and that causes him to do a little lazy spin. He loses a couple of positions and rejoins very unsafely, jumping right into the path of red and lime when he could have easily gone around. As we jump back into live feed, green leads now by quite a considerable margin, with blue coming in and Cyan and making up the podium positions there, and lime has made a lot of positions since the restart, starting at the back to get back up to fourth, and then followed by yellow, red and purple, the cars at the back of the grid, as we head through Maggots and Beckett's for the first time this race, despite having 3 race starts already, and we've lost 3 drivers so far. Pink, black and orange. Orange being a very big DNF because he's a big championship contender, as I can see purple spinning there in the background, struggling in last place. You got to be careful at this track because punctures are a very big problem. You don't want to go into the gravel trap because puncture chances are very high here, and if you get a puncture you're pretty much done. You'll be spinning around like crazy. The gaps are increasing between the drivers as we head down the hanger straight and into Stowe, and it's quite a large gap between lime and yellow. About 10 seconds there already, the difference after 1 lap, and purple's even further behind after the spin on the Maggots and Beckett's part of the track. He trails behind quite far from the lead as we head through club here, and we're going to finish our first lap. There's a moving in the table there as yellow drops out of position. Has he got a problem? We'll have to see in a sec once the camera shows him, and he's dropped down below purple as well. But we do start our 3rd lap, so we're already half race distance because of all of those red flags. As the cars come past the starting straight, and Cyan is spinning out of control, and lime will make an easy position here past Cyan, jumping into the podium positions after starting at the back of the grid. And red will also try to get past Cyan here, and he barely makes it. It's very close between them. Cyan will have a go at getting past here into village, a very common overtaking spot, and red goes a little deep, and Cyan will send it down the inside. Some door banging there, and Cyan claims that position back. Red stuck back in the sort of position 5 and 6 territory there again. The 2 older championship rivals going at it, as purple is now out of the race and stuck in the gravel trap. Exactly what I mentioned earlier, the gravel is very lethal at this track, but yellow is able to continue. He must have just had a bad spin, as blue has a very bad spin, and it's another free position for lime. He'll jump up into 2nd place, and blue is able to rejoin without much loss, but that does close the gap down to the other drivers. Cyan and red will be ready to pounce as we come through Luffield here. A very strong start to this race for blue, as per usual. He usually starts pretty well in the races, but then he just has a little bit of bad luck or a little mistake that sends him down the field and ruins his chances of scoring good points. So hopefully today he can get the podium he's been long awaiting for a long time. Despite starting on pole twice, blue has never won a race and only finished on the podium once, and that was in round 4 in West Coast USA, where he started on pole and came 2nd to red as blue spins. Blue has lost another 2 positions, going from 2nd all the way down to 5th in the space of a couple of corners. This is horrible for blue. He must have a puncture of some sort or some damage that's hindering him. As we look from the cherry picker view here, Cyan going through and red going through, and then blue, and the gaps are still pretty large, but again, a mistake can close things up from any of the drivers, so there's no guarantees of safety in this series. We haven't seen yellow for a while, so I hope that they're still doing okay. They might have gone for a couple of trips off track if we can't see them, which is unfortunate and could cause a puncture. So we might be seeing the end of yellow soon. Usually what happens is that they'll go slowly for a bit and then they'll crash or spin or get beached a little later. So we hope that isn't happening to yellow, but there's a very good chance that things are not going well for him. Watching blue now, who's currently 5th in the standings in a three-way tie with Black and Lime for 70 points. Lime slightly ahead and Black right behind. At this stage he'll definitely get past Black, who's down in 9th and out of the race, but if he wants to get that 4th position and be basically best of the rest, then he'll have to get past Lime, who's all the way up in 2nd, which is a big ask as we start the 4th lap of the race, with Green still leading, followed by Lime, the 2 shades of green, and Cyan and Red, and Blue spins again. Blue has to have some sort of damage to be struggling this hard, and Yellow now is confirmed to be out of the race. We'll have to see how he's doing in a second, where he's come off. Yeah, there he is, and that doesn't look good. Looks like a smashed bumper, and the engine is not running. Most likely beached, I'd say. As we look towards the leaders now, we haven't seen them for a while. The 2 shades of blue, and Cyan is caught right up, so our top 3 are very close together, only separated by a couple of car lengths or so, which might seem far in most standards, but for BeamNG AI racing standards, this is a pretty closely packed group, and Green looks to be going a little slow there, and Lime's able to catch up, make some ground as we head down through Woodcut, a very famous corner on the very infamous Silverstone circuit that we're very lucky to be able to race at here in BeamNG. You can see the banner there, BeamNG.drive. A very wonderful game. I recommend you check it out. Green here coming through the Cops corner, very famous corner after that crash with Hamilton and Verstappen. Green is searching for his first win here. He has never won, and same with Lime and Blue, but Cyan and Red have both won races before. They both have multiple race wins to their names. As you can hear the engine hum of someone who's gone off. I assume that would be Yellow then, but it might be someone else. As we head through Maggots and Beckett's, Green holds the strong lead, and he's looking pretty unbreakable so far, making that move at the very start of the 3rd start of the race, and he's been able to hold it ever since without a doubt. And Blue, however, has started from pole in that restart there and lost positions and drops down to 4th. Tough stuff for him. As we've said, he's probably got some damage on the car because he's struggling in some parts of the track, but at least he's ahead of Red. Red's a very strong driver, and you'd think that he'd try to make a move on Blue sooner rather than later. Heading down towards the club section here, and Green's on the grass, and he's going to lose the lead here, and Cyan also spins around. It's chaos here as Lime takes the lead off of Green, and Blue will also get through on both cars. Red will get past Cyan and Green as well. Green manages to keep Cyan, the other spinner, behind, but that's big for Lime, Blue and Red all making positions there. Chaos at the end of lap 4 there as we start the 5th lap of the race, so there's only 2 more laps to go now, and Cyan is sent to the back of the field. Lime goes from the back to 1st. A very impressive drive from him so far, but he hasn't really had to make any tough overtakes. Everyone's kind of just made mistakes in front of him, as Cyan is following closely to Green here, who seems to have an issue after that run over the curb there that could have caused some floor damage or something, and Cyan is breathing right down Green's neck. He's getting very close through the section, and Green is off. Green has gone straight off the track. That's the big issue there. I don't think he's going to last much longer, and he's at the back of the field now. Cyan moves up to 4th in the race. Green there potentially having a puncture. I said that would be a big issue. Maybe Cyan has also got one too. He is missing his front bumper, but usually cars are able to run quite fine with that as he awkwardly clambers over that sausage curb there to continue on. And Green is now gaining on Cyan, or is he? He also has a very slow corner there. They're both struggling now with damage, and so they might both have to DNF out of the race as Cyan does a full 360 there, and Green is nowhere near him to be able to catch him. So some pretty low quality racing here between Cyan and Green, although it's not their fault. They do both have some sort of damage as we go through with Green down the Wellington straight there, and Red's off. Red's going into the barriers, it looks like, and yes, that'll be race over for Red. He crashes in the same corner that Purple did, as we see Lime there going through in the lead, but that's devastating for Red, and he'll finish 5th in this race provided that Cyan and Green can get through this one corner. And it appears that they've both gone off. This is tragic for everyone. Cyan is able to get going again, and Green reverses into the gravel. What are you doing, Green? Hopefully he's able to continue, but that might be race over for him as well, as we watch Cyan go around Luffield Corner here. It's struggle town for the cars here in Silverstone, one of the more challenging tracks in this calendar, and green is able to get out of that gravel trap. He'll come around left field just the same way that Cyan did. Slow and with damage. You can see smoke coming from the back of the car, and he's almost parked it up, but he's able to get the engine fired back up again and continue on in this race. Tough times for the drivers at the bottom of the field, green and cyan and red as well. The single car that's really looked confident this race has been Lime. He's been storming around at the front, making overtakes left, right and center after all the other cars have made mistakes, and he is faultless as green has another spin. I think I'm going to have to expect this from green now. He's just in a sad state at the moment with possibly a flat tire, some punctures and other parts of damage on his car. We saw him clamber over the curb, and we can see Cyan doing a big spin and heading into the gravel. That'll be race over, and he parks it up right beside yellow. How poetic. And that's him out of the race. Green might actually get a podium here despite struggling so hard. That is absolutely shocking. Crazy that you could think that would happen, and green does get past Cyan, and now he's in the podium, almost a lawnmower as he kicks up a plume of smoke. This has been a very, very disappointing end to this race, if I'm going to be honest. Cars struggling all over the place, and you can see it might even have like a parking brake stuck on or something, because that's very not normal what's happening to his car right there. If he finishes the race, he'll get a podium. If he doesn't finish the race, he will also get a podium. So at this point, it's pretty much locked in that it'll be third position for green. Despite all the slander I've given him, that is still a pretty impressive result, and podiums for backmarkers like him are pretty sparse, so he'll have to enjoy it as he goes off into the gravel, and that might be him done. If he's able to get out of that gravel, I'll be very impressed, as Blue has a little wobble through the first corner. We've seen him struggle there before, but he hasn't actually made a full spin. It's just been, you know, a bit of oversteer and a couple of snaps that he's been able to catch. And it's been a very good drive for Blue. He's had some difficulties. He's probably got some damage, just like the other cars, but he's able to keep it on the road a bit more than those other drivers, and that's what's made the difference, and that's why he's in second position, a very well-earned second position for Blue. But what's even more well-earned is the first position for Lime. It's been a very impressive race by him. It'll be his first victory ever in the series. He's had a couple of podiums, but he's never stood on the top step. As green becomes a lawnmower once again, he got out of that gravel, but this time I don't think he will be getting out. This is race over for green. It was a good effort, but ultimately we all knew that was going to happen. He had too much damage on that car to continue. As we watch on to Blue now, this is the final lap of the race, and it appears that it'll be second place for Blue and a win for Lime. Two very good results for these drivers, as Blue has a spin. It's been a very difficult day for these drivers out here in Silverstone. Very difficult conditions. There might even be some gravel sprayed on the track or some other debris. But the best car of them all lit today has been Lime. You could say it was a sublime performance from Lime. As we watch Blue now head towards the second half of the lap, we can enjoy the amazing track called Silverstone, one of the most famous tracks in the world, famous for its appearances on F1 and other racing series. We can enjoy its spectacle and its beauty for the last time. Well, we only need 2 finishes for this race, and it's been a very tough day. Silverstone has challenged our drivers very much as Blue heads through the club corner. Lime has already started his last lap, but Blue is coming around to start it for himself. I think there's quite a big gap between the drivers. Unless Lime makes a mistake, it'll be a storming victory by him as the camera pans to poor green. And we can see Lime now. Where is he on the track? Oh no, he's not too far ahead. He's just in Village, heading down the Wellington Straight. That's not a big gap between Blue, so it's not awful for the other drivers. Lime has definitely still outdriven them all today, but they did give a good fight. It's just been mistakes today, really. That's what's decided the win. Whoever made the most mistakes got out of the race. I think the only ones you can really call completely unlucky is Pink and possibly Red, but Red didn't actually go out. But yeah, all the other drivers have made critical mistakes that have taken them out of the race, and except Blue, who's just made mistakes and gone to the back of the field, and that's what's handed the win to Lime. It's been a very impressive drive, and he deserves the win here as he comes around for the last lap, heading through Woodcut and down towards Cops. As we cut back to Blue, only a couple of corners behind, and he's also heading through Woodcut, so they're pretty close together now. Blue's making some ground on the last lap, but it won't be to any avail. There's no way he's catching Lime at this rate. Well, we've completed Silverstone. For those watching now, if there's any other suggestions that you have for other tracks that you want to see these cars race on, I'm happy for suggestions. And I'm also happy for any other suggestions about other things, such as whether you want teammates, or whether you want more colours, or whether you want to do 12 races in a season or 16, as Blue has his hopefully final spin of the day in Maggots and Beckett's. I think that kind of represents his day today, consistently on the track, but consistently spinning, which isn't what you want, and it's given him second place because none of the other drivers have been able to finish. But the outstanding driver today, as we've mentioned plenty of times, is Lime, as he heads through the final part of the track, keeping on the curb and out of the grass, unlike his other green rival. He comes through Club. It's been an amazing race today. For the first time in the BeamNG series, Lime will stand on the top step of the podium. Lime wins in Silverstone here for the first time in his career. It's been an amazing race by him, and Blue will come through for second somewhere. He's just a couple of corners back. There he is, coming through the final corner there, and Blue will come in second. Green rounds out the podium, even though he's in the gravel trap. It's been a very difficult day out there for the drivers, but there is the results. Lime wins and Blue comes second. So if we look at the championship standings now, Red maintains the lead despite finishing 5th with another 10 points. Orange had a very bad race. He had a big crash on the second start of the race, so he only gets 4 points, but he keeps that second place. There's pretty big gaps now between the top 3, as Cyan comes through in 3rd with a 4th position. That's better from him. Lime gains 2 positions. He jumps both Blue and Green. He's now got 95 points with that win of his. Blue also gets a podium, but he doesn't move. Green gets a position with his podium, only the second one for him in his career. Black, after crashing on the first lap, loses 3 positions in the standings. That's pretty awful for him. Purple gains a spot in the championship despite only finishing 7th. Yellow gets 8 points for finishing 6th, and he jumps above Pink, who has lost 2 positions in the standings after getting taken out on the first lap of the race. He only gets 1 point for that. And that is all for today's race. Thank you for watching. Please check out the other races if you haven't already, and subscribe and all that to not miss any race uploads. I'm going to have a bit of a break for Christmas, but we'll be back in January for the rest of the season. Please let me know if you want to see 16 races, or if you want to just see 12 so we can start a fresh season with new ideas. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.